It's a huge thing with auditions, no matter how much we want to get them, to feel that we have no right really to get the part. The fact that we've got the audition doesn't mean that we have any more right than anybody else to be given the job or to be given the place on that course. You're very lucky to be given the opportunity, and you can do your utmost and give your everything to share the best of what you have and what you've got to share in that moment. And if you do that, you can be very proud. But the actual outcome of the audition is not in our hands. That's in the hands of other people. And in truth, we will never know what those other people are thinking of us, whether they give us a yes or a no. Like, that's up to them. It's quite a subjective thing. But you've got to go in knowing that you can be proud about what you've got to share, and knowing that you've done the work and the preparation, that you're going to give the best version of you at that time. Just talking about general practicalities of walking into the audition room. If you've had no experience with this whatsoever, what you can expect is a panel of people that will be sitting in front of you. Obviously there'll be a table with 2 or 3 people sitting there. It tends to be the director, maybe the producer, maybe an assistant director, or somebody that they've got reading in. And you're probably not going to have the luxury, if it's a piece of dialogue between 2 people, of being there with another actor. Chances are the person that's reading in will be somebody from the creative team who maybe don't have any great skills within acting. Therefore, you're going to be acting against somebody that is maybe not going to give you a lot back, or as much as you get from another actor. So you're going to have to really work hard to pin down what your character's objectives are, making a choice as to how you're going to approach this piece of text, and commit to it wholeheartedly and fully. If you want to see some actors doing this, I'm going to put some links in the description below. There's some really great examples of quite well-known actors being in the audition room, and you can hear the other person reading in isn't an experienced actor, but they're still able to bring their A game and give their everything to that moment. So generally when you walk in, there'll be some niceties, just as in any job interview really. You'll kind of have a little bit of small talk. They'll maybe pinpoint something on your CV and mention somebody that you've worked with in the past, or how you felt about working on a certain project. All of this is just generally sounding you out and seeing how you are as a person. If you are stressed out that day, if you are tired, if you are worried about something, you've got to leave all that things outside of the audition room, and you've got to think what this panel would like to see. And what they'd like to see is a very approachable, warm, friendly person that's going to be nice to work with. So don't go in saying how your train was late, or how you got to go to work later on, or whatever troubles you've got going on in your life. Just be warm, be open, and just have a nice chat. This works for virtual auditions as well as in-person auditions. I'm going to do a little bit on virtual auditions at the end of this video, so stick around if you want one on virtual, which is much more prevalent in this day and age in 2021. So after you've had that general chat, they'll ask the scene that they want you to perform. It might be that you have to perform 1 or 2 scenes, maybe up to 3 scenes. There's usually not more than that. And they'll tell you, okay, we're going to go for this scene here. There's no obligation to be off book at this stage. What I mean by that is to have learned the lines. Quite often actors will go in with the script in hand. It is always useful, if you can, to be as familiar with the dialogue as possible. You don't want to be sitting with the script in your face, because then they're not going to see you acting at all. If you can find some quick ways to learn the dialogue, which I actually have a video which I'm going to put up here right now. If you can find quick ways to memorize lines, then great. It leaves you open to play around and be flexible in the audition, but just familiarity is what they look for and what they expect as well. It's not a test in memory, you know. They want to see you act and what you've got to bring. And even in Aaron Paul's audition for Breaking Bad, he's not 100% off book. He's fluffing some lines and stuff, but hey, he got the job as Jesse, right? And it's always a nice idea to ask the panel, do you want me to sort of, if it's a monologue, direct it to you or direct it past your head? Because for you, it's just going to remove this worry of like, am I saying it in the right place, you know? It's just going to allow you to fully commit to a choice that feels right to the panel. Some people don't like you looking directly in their eyes, they feel it's distracting or whatever. So it's just always a nice, polite thing to maybe say. Do you want me to direct it to yourself, or do you want me to direct it above your heads? Same applies for if you're doing the virtual edition, do you want me to direct it to the screen, or do you want me to direct it past the screen? That way you know exactly what they want and you can focus on the real stuff, which is the acting, which is the sharing your objective, sharing what you want to do. So from there, they'll probably say something like, when you're ready, And when they say when you're ready, like, when you're ready. Don't take 30 minutes because they've got a schedule, to keep going through and they've got loads of people to see. But, just take that second to realign with what's important in that moment. Before you share what you do in that audition, you want to realign with, what is my objective? What is the given circumstances that you've given yourself? Like, why am I here? Who is in the room with me? Because essentially you have to create a whole world in front of you in that couple of minutes that's going to be realistic to the panel that are watching. That's what they care about. What they care about is not what's the perfect version of this character that you're sharing. They care about, is this actor able to give a realistic depiction of this character? And then, if that fits what they're looking for, fantastic. But you want to focus in that moment that you have to share your acting on, how can I be as realistic as possible, make a choice that's interesting, and share what I can do. Then when you're ready, just dive into it and share what you've got. Now, it's always a tricky thing to choose an objective for the character. Perhaps you haven't had a huge amount of time to prepare for the audition, but it's always a good idea to read the whole script if you are given the whole script. If you're not given the whole script, make sure you've read the entirety of the scenes that you've been given and try to the best of your knowledge with the information you've been given to make choices about the fact that your character wants something. Always in life, we always want something. It is never the case that we just amble through life with no purpose, yeah? What is it that they want from the scene? Using the text as evidence that you've been given, what do they want? Once you've made that choice, you're already differentiating yourself from the 100 other actors they're going to see that day, because you've made a choice that is unique to you. Once you've made that choice, start painting the details of the world. Who else is in the room? How does the character feel about those other people? Where are they? What time of day is it? All of these things are going to add real colour to what you can do. And make bold, interesting choices. Don't make choices just because they feel safe and that's what you get from a very shallow reading of the script. If you've looked in depth at the piece of text that you've been given, why not start to make these interesting choices that you can make? After you share what you've got to share, they may or may not want to see another scene. If they do, great. If they don't, that's fine as well. If they want to see another scene, they might not see the entirety of the scene. They might stop you halfway through. All that it means is that the panel that are watching you have seen what they need to see. If they don't see all of the scenes that you can do, that doesn't mean that you haven't done well in the audition. It just means that they've seen enough and they need to move on to the next person. So always when this happens, never say, oh, but I'm not finished. Never say, would you like to see more? Or anything like that. Just politely say, oh, thank you very much for seeing me, guys. Or they might call you over to have a bit of a conversation. And when they do that, they might just want to find out a bit more about you, a bit more about your opinion of the text. So, as I say, make sure that you've read the script properly or as much as you can, and might chat a bit about your availability. Then always end it with thanking everybody for the opportunity. It is a fantastic opportunity you have to share what you can do as an actor anytime you walk into an audition room. So be very grateful for it. And then once you walk out that room, my best advice to you is forget all about it, right? You're only going to be toying with yourself if you think about it more than you have to. So you either have got the audition or you don't. Okay, move on to the next one, the next thing that you've got going on in your life. Just don't think about it again. If they call you up with a no, then it happens, right? It's a 50-50 chance. And if you're really struggling with dealing with those no's, I have a video called How to Deal with Rejection as an Actor, which I'll pop up in the corner here right now. You can watch. But it's either going to be a yes or it's going to be a no. So don't be so hard on yourself. That's the reality for everybody that's going into that audition room. chances are there's only one part up for grabs or a handful of spaces on the course that people are going on. So you've really just got to understand that there'll be another one that will come along very soon. And sometimes what you did in that room, the benefits and the positivities of that maybe won't have an effect today or tomorrow, but for some reason it will have that ripple effect. Like, you never know who's on that panel and what they might remember you for at a later date. I've known people to get calls 4 to 5 years after they've done an audition because they've been remembered for something that they've done in an audition room. So you just never know who you're going to make contact with. You're never going to know what people are going to remember by what you do. Just go in and give the best account of yourself you can possible. And a little bit at the end here just about virtual auditions. Obviously what I've been focusing on is being actually in person, which hopefully we'll be doing for the foreseeable future as coronavirus continues to ease. But if you get the virtual audition, which is different to a self-tape, that's a whole different video, but if you get the virtual audition, a lot of these principles still apply. I guess the big thing is you've got the comfort of your own home and your own surroundings, so you don't have to feel that alien. In fact, if you wanted to set up like some eye lines for different characters, then you can pinpoint specific points in the room you're in. So for example, the lamp is a certain character that you can look at. You can start painting the world of the play or the TV script a little bit more. There's a table in the corner there, there's a painting in front of me. You can start to visualize the world a little bit more, so you have that luxury. Another big thing for me in virtual auditions is that you work through any technical aspects that might be a problem beforehand. When it comes to the audition, you want to be focusing on your acting and your acting alone. You don't want to be worried about how your camera's set up, what the lighting looks like, any of that stuff. So just, even if you want to get on a Zoom call with a friend beforehand and just say, can you see me okay? Is my lighting fine? Is my connection working? All of that stuff. So when you go into the audition, when it's virtual, you can just focus on the thing that matters, which is sharing you and what you can do as an actor. Whew, that was a mammoth amount of stuff there, but I hope it's helpful. I hope that it gives you a bit more of an insight as to what goes on in the audition room. And yeah, don't be hard on yourself. Auditions are what we all have to do. The more that you do, the more comfortable you become with them, and the more you understand how best you can be effective in them. So just keep going. It's a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And take care, my friends. Until next time, be unstoppable.